Time for some more of that. Leviathan Legacy. This is probably my favorite story from Final Fantasy XI. I never get tired of thinking about it, much less telling it. There was a person in our link shell who's also part of a website. I'm not going to name it. I'm not trying to connect drama to anything. There was a forum, pretty much all of us posted at. We had all been on this same message board for, I don't know, 10 plus years. So it was only natural to make a link shell from that forum, and all the people on that message board play together. And I still think that was the best group of people I've ever played a game with, really. Except for this one guy whose forum handle was Logic with a K at the end. Our link shell leader tried to cut him some slack because he played Red Mage and everyone sucked every Red Mage's because they had haste and refresh. But I think our leader felt bad for this guy whose in-game name was Naea. I think he felt bad for Naea because this dude literally fried his brain. He went to a rave when he was kind of young and dropped so much acid. His brain was effed. In his defense, he was an amazing programmer. I mean, he could explain to you the intricacies and the details of exactly how the PlayStation 2 reads a disc and how it stores graphics and the way the PS2's disgusting graphical callback function is a pain in the ass to code for. That's the thing. He wasn't, like, retarded. He wasn't, like, mentally handicapped. But for some reason, when it came to video games, Homeboy's brain was always on a 2 + 2 = 22. Like, his brain just, for some reason, cannot calculate the video game, and I don't know why. He literally makes video games. He codes them, but he cannot play them. Another person I want to make another video about, the Victalisa, the one who ruined her life, destroyed her marriage, got kicked out of college, all because of this video game. And I saw it all happen. I tried to help even, but you can't help some people. Naea is one of those people that you cannot help. He is beyond any form of assistance. Victalisa, I still think about this one thing she said. Because she saw a lot of endgame players. She knew a lot of, very max-geared people, saw lots of crazy stuff. And I think the funniest thing she ever said is, Naea is the only Red Mage that I know who cannot solo Aquarius. Most enemies, I think their auto attack speed was, maybe every 4.5 seconds, which is decent. In that game it functioned well enough. Aquarius auto attacked every 0.75 seconds. So that's like 370% attack speed increase. And he had a permanent end water effect. So he would add like 100 to 150 damage on top of his hitting you for 200. Like, he would tear people up. You could not just fight him. You had to fight him in a special way, which Red Mage absolutely excelled at. He appeared in a place where people leveled up all the time. Everyone knows how to fight Aquarius. Everyone has seen a Red Mage solo Aquarius. First thing you cast Gravity, because it makes him walk slower. Then you cast Paralyze, Blind, and Slow. I think I messed up the order. I think you cast Slow first, because it's 100% efficient. Didn't have to proc. I'm not a Red Mage. But even I kind of understand, there's an order to things. You put things up. And I think most people would figure out Aquarius, yeah, he's a high-level notorious monster. you can't bind Aquarius. You can't just make him stop moving and you know, get some distance. So you slow him down, you know, put all the debuffs on, and then you hit Chain Spell, your ultimate ability, and you just Thunder 3, Thunder 3, Thunder 3 until you're out of mana. Convert, takes all your HP and MP, flips them around, so you have like 20 hit points and full mana. But he's not going to catch you. You're just going to keep chain spelling Thunder 3s, and then he's going to die. It takes 20 seconds to defeat Aquarius as a Red Mage. One day we're out leveling in the Boyata tree, and we're like, hey, Aquarius just popped. Naea says, oh, I'm going to come solo it. So we're pulling Mandragoras and crabs. Naea shows up, you know, puts up Stone Skin, Aqua Veil, Blink, Protect, Shell, all that crap. And then standing 10 feet away from it, he does not activate Chain Spell. And the first thing he casts is Bind. And then he just stands there getting smacked in the face by Aquarius repeatedly. And then he starts casting Thunder 3. He didn't cast any other debuffs. He did not cast Gravity. Literally the first thing a Red Mage casts when you're trying to solo as a Red Mage. You know, you refresh yourself, you put all your buffs up, you wait for your MP to get full again, you hit another refresh, and you cast Gravity. Even I know that. This guy tried to pull with Bind. And for, what was that? That was probably like 13, 14 more years ago. Me and some people, we still will message each other. You know, we haven't talked for like a year. We'll just message each other randomly and just say like, Naea pulls. And everyone knows it's about that time he tried to solo Aquarius. And cast Bind. And then just starts casting Thunder 3 with no Chain Spell. And casts no other debuffs. So, you know, we have a healer in our party. We raise him. Gets back up. Res sickness wears off. Does the exact same thing again. For like the 10 minutes that he was down and waiting for res sickness to wear off, you know, people are talking about the Aquarius fight and how they do it and what direction they pull him so that they don't have to run between, you know, experience parties. And he just did the exact same thing again. Like, this wasn't a person who made a mistake. He was trying to bind Aquarius and just cast Thunder 3 on it. With no debuffs. I completely fail to understand how a person with such a powerful brain, clearly, despite all the acid, could not understand an order of operations that has like 5 parts to it. It's like, dude, order of operations is literally your job. You code in order of operations. It's your job. It's what you've been doing your whole life. And you can't figure out gravity, slow, paralyze, blind, chain spell. I did not like this guy. I mean, as a person, he was interesting. He was a bizarre person. But I don't think I've ever hated playing a video game with another human being quite as much as I hated playing with Naea. Particularly when it got to the point, this is why they say you never mix work and pleasure. Never mix endgame with your social group. We made that mistake. You know, a lot of people in the social group, they weren't geared very well, and if you don't have that initial good gear, most endgame groups won't pick you up because they don't want to gear up someone from scratch. And that sucks. A bunch of us already had, like, top tier endgame stuff though, and we were like, yo, I think with, you know, me on tank and, you know, her and him on, you know, healers, just everyone else bring a DPS, and we'll just face roll everything that we can. We'll see what happens. And it worked pretty good. To my utter dismay, a social guild with barely any equipment was able to defeat Genbu, Suzaku, Seiryu, Byakko, and Kirin. But we only ever had one Sky run. We only ever had one time where we defeated all 5 Sky Gods. Because after we defeated Byakko, Naea threw the biggest tantrum I have ever seen. And I'm not just talking about man-child tantrum. I'm talking about just, like, you ever seen that kid who, like, I think he wanted an N64 for Christmas or something and he didn't get it, you know, that video? Imagine that, but strapped to a rocket car that is itself strapped to an actual space shuttle that is then launched through a quantum gravity field to the far end of the universe in the outer darkness, and then multiply that speed by a power equal to the number of atoms in the universe, and that is how strong of a tantrum he threw when we did not let him solo lot on Byakko's Haidate. A pair of pants that gave you haste. Everyone wanted those stupid pants. I wanted those stupid pants, but I didn't throw a frickin' tantrum about it. Unfortunately, there was a lot of Naea sympathizers who felt sorry for the guy who destroyed his brain with drugs and wanted to pamper him. And it's like, dude, we set lotting rules before we even start the fight. We all agree who's allowed to lot, and you were not part of it. You knew that. And then he was like, well, I'm not going to fight Kirin then. He took his leg shell off, left, and I'm like, you're really going to abandon these 20 people that we've been playing with for a decade over a pair of internet pants? I was like, wow, who the can defend this anymore, honestly? So a bunch of other people decided they didn't want to fight Kirin, and we had to call a bunch of our endgame buddies. And fighting Kirin sucks. No one wants to fight Kirin. But a bunch of people came and bailed us out. We got a Kirin kill. And then we never touched Sky or fought any gods ever again. All because of a pair of cat pants and a mentally incapacitated PS2 programmer who could not solo Aquarius. So, I guess that's chapter 2 in the legend of the Leviathan server and all the stupid ass I encountered playing this game for a decade.